the low-hanging fruit is removing things from your life that to take away your focus and energy. Focus can be biochemical, right? It could be not eating enough, not getting enough sleep. It could be eating the wrong kinds of foods, right? Those are all biological reasons for not having focus. Emotional reasons for not being focused is you're worried about things outside of your work. And I'm not saying there aren't things outside of work that don't matter. It's just, please walk me through how worrying about them at work makes any of it better. How you're solving things that actually make it better. Worse, for most of the problems we worry about outside of work, not all of them, but a lot of them, it's like, hey, well, if you made $2,000 every week, how much do these problems matter? No, actually they'd go away. Okay, well then I think we can solve for this, right? We know what we have to do. Not all of them, by the way. There are things that maybe making $2,000 a week isn't going to solve for. But for the most part, most of it, there's a lot of low-hanging fruit there. So then it's being disciplined enough to not let things outside of work, outside of your daily tasks, distract you. That takes discipline, not motivation. One of the questions I get asked a lot is like, well, how do you stay motivated? I'm not really fucking worried about motivation. If the only reason somebody's doing something is because they're motivated to do it right now, that's just, are we always motivated to eat or not? Hilarious one, but for people who are in long-term relationships, most of us say, yeah, we enjoy sex. Are we always motivated to have sex? We're laying in bed like, I'd like to have sex, but I really don't want to roll over. Right? These are things that we love. So to think that like, oh, motivation's gonna get us there, it's like, no. Discipline will get you there because you do it because that's who the fuck you are. See the difference? So a lot of times people are like, I don't know, I'm just not motivated. Well, then grow the fuck up, buttercup. Think about a mother, as I'm seeing right now, again, has to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning to feed their child that's wailing. Are they motivated always? No. What if they were like, yeah, I'm not motivated, I'm not feeling it, I'm just not gonna feed them. This is the silly shit that people do, the reasoning of it. Okay, so energy, same thing. Energy can be biological. Again, didn't get enough sleep because I'm immature and I stayed up watching fucking Netflix till 3 o'clock in the morning. Or just took one too many drinks last night, even though I knew it was a work night. So not getting enough sleep. Diet can impact energy. Being sick can impact energy, which, sometimes we're like, well, you can't control whether you get sick or not. You can more than you realize by simply taking care of yourself and eating right. But not always, right? Sometimes that's part of being human. We experience things like that. But we can do a lot to mitigate it. Energy can also be drained because we got in an argument with a fucking loved one on the way in. We knew we shouldn't have, or we drained our energy worrying about something we could not materially do anything about. So then we're distracted and our energy is depleted. So that's the low-hanging fruit, right? And so I'd start there. And then it's like, hey, I'm doing all those things and I still don't have focus and energy. Well, then we talk about the existential part of that. But that usually quenches most of it. So for me, when I started in the field, I was married and had 2 kids. So I had a lot of easy things that could have taken my focus and energy. And I didn't act like they didn't matter. I just said, hey, here's all the things that I got to worry about when I get out of the field. I'm going to put them in the seat next to me. And I literally visualized taking the fucking monkeys off my back. And here, I'm like, I'll get back to you when I get out of the field. I'm going to go make 500 today, and that's going to solve a lot of problems. And then still pick up the fucking milk on your way home. I make choice A, gives me an outcome of either B or C. Here's my cause, and here's the effect. And we generally look at life this way, where I make a choice, and that choice has a effect. When you surrender duality and understand oneness, alignment is, there is no cause and effect. ABC manifests ABC. In other words, it's not a cause and effect, it's alignment. It's energetic alignment. What you are producing in the world is a reflection of your alignment. Now that is a hell of an implication, right? Because when you start going down that rabbit hole, some people are gonna be like, fuck you, fuck that. You're telling me I'm bringing this shit into my life? I don't want to experience this. I don't want to feel this way. That may be true, but on an unconscious level, what you're aligned with is what you are producing. Let me give you an example. You ever notice anybody who listens to a particular kind of music all of the time will take on the embodiment, energy, and language of that music? In our day and age, music is kind of in a weird place, but I can usually tell what kind of music somebody listens to. Now, a lot of people are pretty eclectic because of how we produce music now, where it's like they listen to lots of different kinds of music. But if somebody is sold out to a particular kind of music, it is obvious. I think you're probably decently eclectic. Okay, so if you're in a particular energetic alignment, you are going to produce a result that is in alignment with that, which is not cause and effect, it's the unmanifest becoming manifest. Why is that important? What are the implications? I've said over and over again, who you become in the process in pursuit of what you say you want will be more important to you than any one accomplishment. Why I'm saying that is because as you work at producing success, defend your own way, right? I'm not telling you what success is. Only define success your way. But when you produce the outcome you want, it's only because you've become what you want. And now this is simply the fruit of what you've become. Which is why you guys in this room, except for you, the rest of you guys have heard me say a very wordy statement that I'm always slow to say so everybody can write it down and catch it, but I will say it now because I've heard it before, but I'm going to say it quick and we'll move on. To know and to not do is to not become. To know and to do is to become, such that there is no difference between that which you are and that which you produce. To know and to not do is to not know. Look at my head and my heart so you get it. To know and to do is to become, such that there is no difference between that which we are and that which we do or produce. Hopefully, there's probably an easier way to describe that. I've tried to reduce the words and added visuals so that it can be better understood. And maybe at some point, maybe that's the visual. Maybe I just go, that is the symbol for that very long statement. The reason I started saying it that way is because there are people that will go, oh yeah, I know that, but they don't do it. Oh, I know that you attract what you are. To say that you know that and not utilize that understanding in your life means you are either wildly irresponsible or you truly don't understand it. Because there is an implication, there is a sense of responsibility that comes with truly understanding that. You are what you consume. Are we surprised when people watch horror films and then they are afraid of the dark and have bad dreams? No, what the fuck? Like weird. Are we surprised when people have lots of drama in their life and they watch novellas and dramedy and fucking... Yeah, of course. It's a lot of people's families. It's like, well, no wonder. What are you bathing yourself in? Are you surprised when you listen to somebody watch the news and they want to talk about all the conspiracy theories and all the shit that's going on in the world and it's all negative and I'm depressed. I'm like, I'd be fucking depressed too if I was bathing myself in that. You become what you eat. You become what you consume. I have learned to not give advice to people who aren't asking for it. And maybe you guys have seen me do this. Well, somebody will raise their hand and then they'll make a statement and then they'll stop and I'll go, was there a question in there? I don't want to assume there was, and I'm not going to waste my time answering something that there was no question. And sometimes they do imply there's a question, but there's no inflection. I don't hear a question mark at the end of the statement. It's a statement. So I'm like, was there a question there? So I don't offer advice to people who don't want it. Why? Well, if you love coaching people, if you love giving people advice, you're just going to look for, let me help you, right? It takes a slowing down and going, well, they weren't asking for it. And more often than not, I'll have people sit with me, bitch, and never ask for advice, and later they're gonna come back, they go back and they go, oh my God, I don't know why I should have just asked you. Like, you could have helped me. Or they'll be like, why didn't you fucking, well, because you didn't ask. If they haven't demonstrated competency and you have the role of coach in their life, that's different. Because you signed up, hey, I'm going to coach and train you, that's different. So if they're D2, low competency, and you are their coach, that relationship says, I'm going to share this with you. Which is different than a friend, a family member, a random stranger just flailing about, puking all over you with their words. If they're not asking me for help or advice, I'm not likely going to just offer it. And not because I don't want to help, I do. And if I feel like I can help them, I may ask, hey, sounds like you're going through a lot right now. Are you open to answering some questions? I may be able to help you. No. Great. Thank you. I ask and I'm done, right? Or no stranger has ever said no. Sometimes the people closest to me say no because they're like, I just want to figure this out on my own, or I don't want your fucking help. It's like, it's very often the closer somebody gets to you, sometimes they get more familiar with you. So I'm like, okay. Sometimes that makes it easier on me. I'm like, okay, say less. How am I going to teach mentality? Through action and how I show up. So I'm less about saying, hey, I want you to have a Mamba mentality. Do you know what that means? No, let me explain it to you. That won't really resonate most likely, but when they hear you go, it's going to be a good day today. And they're like, doesn't feel like it's going to be a good day in their mind. Like, I'm going to have a great day today. I'm going to fucking crush it. And you go and crush it. They're like, The first time they may not think anything of it. Just like, that guy's kind of weird. He's always happy. Day over day, you keep crushing it. And they're like, or you have a shit day and you still have a good attitude. They're like, or they find out you have some real shit going on at home and you still come in rock solid, ready to go. And they're like, what? So mentality very often is, though it can be taught, it's better demonstrated. The worst, by the way, which is why I say I prefer you demonstrate it than teach it, the absolutely fucking worst is somebody who espouses mentality that does not live it. Fuck. I say this all the time, but it's true. The leading cause of atheism in the world today is religious people who speak about God but do not demonstrate the truth they say they fucking know. Not all, but most of the, except for like the hyper-rationalists, which I still think they probably have trauma that they never dealt with, but most of the people who hold on to an atheist belief system, they had trauma related to the fucking religion that they were in. I was like, what happened to you? Who abused you? Who betrayed you? What pastor? What worship leader? The worship leader slept with my, right? It's like there's always a story. I was judged by my stepmom, and she always told me I needed to be this way, and I never felt like I was good enough. I'm like, that's a human problem, not a God problem. But that's not how we show up in the world. We don't see it that way, right? Better to show up in the truth you know than to try to convince people of the truth you know. When you demonstrate the truth, people shut up because what do you do with that? You can't. There's nothing to do about it. That's why it's so fucking powerful. That's fire. Hopefully that integrates.